Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the City Club of Cleveland. My name is Bruce Heary and I am president of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association. The Bar Association is a center for professional excellence here in Cleveland, and I am honored to be here on behalf of our 6,000 members. It is my specific pleasure today to introduce Tom Mesereau, our 2015 Law Day celebration speaker. Law Day was established by President Dwight D. Eisenhower in 1958. At the time, he said, "The world no longer has a choice between force and law. If civilization is to survive, it must choose the rule of law." This is obviously still true today as we think about what's going on around the world and in Baltimore, Maryland, and even in our city. The American Bar Association always has a theme for Law Day. This year it's the 800th anniversary of the Magna Carta. The Magna Carta stands for the enduring truth that no one is above the law. Rights we sometimes take for granted, like due process, habeas corpus, and trial by jury, originated in that document. Tom Mesereau and I were born 2 weeks apart, about 100 miles apart on the East Coast. We grew up in the great television age of the 50s and the 60s. While the 50s gave us Perry Mason, it was an early 1960s lawyers show, The Defenders, that stood out for me. The show starred E.G. Marshall and Robert Reed as a father-son duo of intrepid defense lawyers. In this groundbreaking show, they defended unpopular causes such as abortion, child abuse, atheism, neo-Nazism, and euthanasia, among other themes. The series has been described as the most socially conscious the medium has ever seen, and a show that was singularly resonant with the new frontier liberalism. Tom Mesereau is the embodiment of the defender. His website biography is replete with his many highly publicized courtroom victories. But he has been invited here today as much for his other achievements, his lifelong commitment to pro bono work and charitable activities in the pursuit of justice. His accolades, tributes, and awards are rich and long. In 2005, he was interviewed by Barbara Walters as one of her most interesting people. He is still fascinating today. Tom and I, besides being born in the same month and year, share another thing in common. We graduated from the same prep school. That school's motto, non sibi, translates to not for oneself, calling its alumni to lives of service. Tom Mesereau personifies such a life. After graduating from Harvard, the London School of Economics, and the University of California Hastings College of Law, Tom has crafted a legal career of tremendous public recognition and success and remarkable private giving. Ladies and gentlemen, members and friends of the City Club, on behalf of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce today's Law Day speaker, Tom Mesereau.
Thank you. Bruce, thank you very much for that kind introduction, and thank you, City Club, for this very, very generous invitation. To members of the bar, the judiciary, to our high school students who really hold the key to our future, to everyone present, thank you very much for this kind invitation. The subject of pro bono work is something very dear to my heart. And when I approach this subject, I approach it from two angles. One, what pro bono work does to the community, and two, what it does for me, and hopefully what it will do for other lawyers if they consider doing more of it. I got out of law school and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with my career. Fortunately, a law degree gives one many, many options. It gives one more options than any other degree I can think of. And I was able to make use of those options to find out where I belonged in society and where I belonged in this profession. I started with a very big civil litigation firm in Washington, D.C. I then was a deputy district attorney in Southern California. I was with a corporation for a few years, assisting the president in hiring lawyers, and I would run around the country supervising lawyers. And eventually I realized that everything interested me for a while. But the question was, where would I find passion? Because the key to a good life is passion. You can't put a price on passion. Passion lets you get up every day and do the things you like to do and live a very worthwhile life. And a law degree helped me find that passion. I also had to face the fact that I was kind of a loner and a misfit and a renegade. And if you have those qualities, there's nothing better than being a criminal defense lawyer. Okay? Nothing better. I started reaching out to nonprofit groups in Los Angeles. I began to donate my time at free legal clinics at African American churches in South Central Los Angeles, and eventually formed my own nonprofit and my own free legal clinic. And the joy and the fulfillment and the satisfaction I, as a person and as a lawyer, have gotten from this is immeasurable. The Mesereau Free Legal Clinic operates out of a church in the African American community in South Los Angeles. We meet 2 Saturday mornings a month. Lawyers, law students, college students, activists donate their time. And we encourage people from the community to come with whatever problem they have, whether it's a criminal problem, whether it's divorce, whether it's probate, whether it's a business issue, whether they think their rights have been violated in any number of different ways. We encourage them to come. We encourage them to come, and we don't guarantee any result. We don't guarantee we can take the case, but we guarantee they have an ear to speak to whenever they want. We have people who come in with problems that are just impossible to describe. I talked to a woman recently who had 2 sons doing life in prison. They've been doing life for the last 10, 15 years. She wanted someone to talk to. I told her she has someone to talk to anytime she wants to come. We have other people with pending legal problems that we can handle. People involved in mortgage fraud, who've had to lose their home through fraudulent means. People who have problems with their children. People who don't know if there's even a legal solution to the problem bothering them, but they have a place to come and people to talk to. And last but not least, we have problems with lawyers in poor communities. Lawyers who steal money, lawyers who make promises, lawyers who feel that if it ever comes to a dispute before the bar, with their articulate, educated approach, they will out-talk and outwit whoever they stole from. And we have to deal with those problems too, because there are people in our profession, like every other profession, that are unethical and steal money and make promises they shouldn't make. Nevertheless, this kind of work, along with benefiting the community, benefits your spirit, benefits your soul, gives you passion, and allows you to make a difference. And I love free legal clinics. And I've encouraged others to start free legal clinics. You know, very often in society you see competition. Whatever sector you're in, people want to outdo others. People think they're better than others. We encourage anyone to come and take our forms, take our procedures, learn from us, and duplicate it if they can. Okay, it's something that we really think is something that can be repeated, and I'm very honored to know that some other free legal clinics have started, but there's a problem. The problem is economics. In our society, particularly right now, the cost of education is enormous. The cost of housing is enormous. In the last recession, the jobs in the legal profession contracted. And when you try and tell people, do something free, do something that helps others rather than just yourself, it's a tough road. It's a tough road. But we have a profession which we have so many options, so many things we can do. And unfortunately, a lot of members of this profession don't know that. Since I was in law school, consistently, more than half of lawyers surveyed say they're unhappy with what they do. And of course, what they don't realize is if they took the valuable education and skills they have and tried to give to the community and give to others in a selfless way, they would feel far better about themselves and about their profession and about the career choices they have made. Now, let me give an example of a young woman I met a number of years ago in Los Angeles. There's a bar restaurant that typically I've gone to for years. I'll sit there alone, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, have a couple of glasses of wine, think my thoughts, think about what I'm doing, what tomorrow's going to bring. And she served me a glass of wine one night, and it turned out she was a student at UCLA. She was majoring in philosophy. She was a white girl from a white community called Whittier. She'd never been in the inner city in her life. Her parents didn't want her to go. They were scared of the inner city. We started talking. I said, what are you going to do with your degree? She said, well, I major in philosophy. I thought of being a lawyer, and 7 lawyers told me don't do it. So I'm going to be an accountant, is what she said. Well, I said to her, well, this is the 8th lawyer you've talked to, and I'm telling you, do it. okay? And we started talking, and I told her about my free clinic. She said she wanted to come. And she wanted to meet me at a coffee place and wanted me to take her to my clinic. And of course, her parents had a fit. Who was this older guy with this long gray hair who was taking her into the inner city, you know? And I did it. And she came to my clinic, and she started off as a paralegal. Paralegals are usually non-lawyers, people in law school or college, who will take an intake form. They'll sit down with someone who came to the clinic for help. They'll get the basic information. They'll bring it back to the staff. The staff will assign a lawyer to the